And it's easier, it's nicer with this stuff because we can leave it in here. One, because they will eat it, there's not all cob. So they got this left. I'll spread this out and then grain back over the top of it. Hey, welcome back to Ohrmundt Simmentals. All right, it is Tuesday afternoon, and it's been a little bit since I recorded. I did not do anything. I didn't record anything this past weekend, and actually all of last week. Mostly because we didn't really have a whole lot of super exciting or even marginally exciting stuff going on. So I figured not that we're actually doing anything super exciting this week, but start giving you a little flavor for the regular and actually fill you in with the little things that we've done over the last week. So Dad's getting corn silage, and yesterday we were actually talking about change a little bit of the way we're approaching our pile. And you know, every time I cut back plastic, it's not going so far so that we can try and cover our face a little faster. Because even though if this stuff sits for like maybe 3 days or so, it's still good, there's no mold. But if it sits longer than that, we're starting to get mold. About that like 5-day mark, it is still way better than last year, which is nice. We just need to move across our face faster. So we're gonna go in less, and we're actually just gonna pull it back and then scoop off the ground instead of always diving in and going like bucket depth. Maybe only unveiling and taking on half bucket depth every time so that we can move across the face faster. This past weekend for me and Dad was actually working on leaves. We still have, Mom and Dad have a ton of maple trees, and there's just tons and tons of leaves there. So this year we broke down and we went halves on one of those DR leaf vacs. It was definitely worth it because it took us, granted, it took us probably a full day to put the whole thing together and get it all set up and things like that. But it took us maybe like 3 hours to do their leaves. But with a lawn sweeper, some leaf blowers, stuff like that, it would normally take us probably 6 hours total. And we have probably a quarter the size pile of leaves, which was really awesome. And then yesterday I did my leaves. I don't have nearly as much, probably only a third, but it's just so nice to have that done and out of the way. All right, these guys still have a little bit left, so Dad just needs to put a little bit in there. These guys, it seems like they're not eating quite as much, but sometimes we're still feeding them probably more than we need to. But they're doing, I think overall they're doing okay. They're eating what we give them. We're trying to tail back a little bit quicker than what we had in the past. And the nice thing is that we can leave this stuff in the manger for a couple of days. Like this west bunk has some left in it. And it's easier, it's nicer with this stuff because we can leave it in here. One, because they will eat it, there's not all cob. So they got this left. I'll spread this out and then grain back over the top of it. It's nice that we don't have to worry about it molding for, you know, a couple of days. We can react nicer, a lot nicer this year with that being the case. Now, one thing you will notice we did last week, Factor is now by himself. He's not crazy about that, but we did ship the 2 cull cows in. They did pretty darn well. I think we got around that $1.65 a pound or something like that, which for culls is pretty nice. The black one actually weighed a few pounds more than Whitey Gerg's did. A lot of that is probably because Whitey Gerg's did have a calf, and also she had been regularly in heat up until like a week before we shipped her. She was still cycling, so she definitely had a little bit of an issue. She might have just been cystic or something. I think you would just give a shot of lute for that. So Dad and I hauled them to Stratford. Their cull prices were just as good as anybody else's, and they're only half-hour away. So that was Tuesday night. And then Wednesday, Dad hauled in our first butcher steer of the year, a little bit earlier than normal for us. And then we thought we had a butcher date in December, but apparently we have 2 in January. So that kind of threw us off a little bit, but that's all right. All right, so we're off to get the cows a bale. We've been trying to do like a 1-2, 1-2. They haven't been overly consistent on us though. It's like some days we'll feed them 2 and we come back and there's like 2/3 of a bale, so. Oh well, that's all right. I'm sure that has to do more with inconsistency of the hay, varieties, that kind of thing. We also just let them tell us what they want and, you know, feed accordingly. Still haven't shut off the blue water, the big blue. It's been 2 weeks since we blew out the yellow water line. But it's been it freezes overnight, but this stays running, so we're not real worried about anything freezing, because honestly that water line is only about 6-8 inches under the ground here, give or take. So, but there's enough animals drinking out of there to keep that thing moving overnight. But pretty soon we're gonna have to shut that down for the year too. Finish up on the steer. Wednesday morning we loaded him up. Dad hauled him in, and that went really well. He went right on the trailer that's still not fixed yet. It is parked in front of the shop. That is one of our very much soon to work on projects. That is gonna happen very quickly. So yeah, he went on there, no problem, not a big deal. All right, we have basically just been feeding the cows in the feeders. I took them off the field on the left, put them back, or at least let them back on the sorghum field, just so they have a nice grassy area to lay, because the west half of this field, they really have crapped up. Oh, technically not totally caught up. Feeder heifers sold. Not sold like we have check in hand, but the guy up the road, him and his family, he does some of our tractor work. They have bought a couple of feeder steers to show in the fair before, that kind of stuff. He kind of wanted to buy a few heifers to possibly, you know, have a small little breeding herd of his own. He said he would take all of them. So that's cool. We agreed on a price and we thought it was fair. We kind of always hate doing it that way because it's like, how do you figure that price? Could we have gotten more at the barn or vice versa, something? I don't know. So that's always a little bit frustrating, but we think it's a fair price. But he needed to get some things organized at his place first, so we held on to him. It's been like a week and a half. It's not a huge deal. I mean, we're gonna put literally the second bale of hay in front of them, and they've gotten a little grain, a little corn silage. So one thing I will continue to do is, it's 5 after 4. Come on now, savings time. Should be 5 after 5. So Dad is popping the shell off of that. He's gonna leave about 1/3 in there and then bring the rest up in the barn. Hey, how's it going? All right, it is Wednesday afternoon, and yes, I have a scratchy throat. It's actually not scratchy, I'm just getting hoarse. So I might not talk a whole lot, but this is a result of our leaf project over the weekend. It was excessively dusty, so I am now paying the price for that. All right, Dad is at an appointment, so I am flying solo for all, or at least most, of feeding, which isn't a big deal. Spike is on, so we're going to start with bales. It is a 2-bale night, and I think we haven't done it in a while. I'm going to run these bales out into the old sorghum field, because we haven't done that for a few days. And since we're doing 2, one of those bales will be one from last year. And Bethany is actually going to, in a few minutes, she's going to run into town, and she is going to mail in my DNA samples. I haven't gotten them mailed out yet. Have them all packaged, have everything ready to go. Just needs to get mailed in. So she's going to run that in. The place we normally go, because the post office is kind of a joke, they've been kind of in a transition as the local grocery store, but whatever, she's going to send it in today. Probably get those results in about 2 months. Hey, how's it going? All right, it is Thursday afternoon. Voice still a little hoarse. Might be getting better. It's all right though. All right, getting corn silage. There's still some left in the bunks here. A little bit. Bulls don't need any. Main group need a little bit, and then those guys need some. And then looks like some bale fluffs. Tomorrow we'll be bedding. I think the cows are patiently waiting for a good bale of hay, because they did not like the ones I gave them yesterday. All right, so we were nice to them. We treated them to 2 really nice bales. The one I grabbed last night, the first one, I think it was still from this year, but whew, that was, I don't know where that bale came from. It must have been a bale that just had a bunch of wet stuff in it. I don't know, it got dark, but that's all right. One bale, they only probably ate half of it. right, so we just topped off their tank. Factor got his little bit of grain, got his 1.5 gallon bucket of silage. So he's doing good. Actually did just worm him, spooked him a little bit, but that's all right. Put it on the right setting and just made sure he didn't have his head in the manger, and then was able to shoot it on his back. So, oh, that turned out perfect. Yep, and then those guys just get a second crop, and it just sits right there for them. Turns out pretty decent. All right, happy Friday. All right, we are getting going here. Just got home from work. Nothing too major today. We're just gonna do some feeding. I think we got to do some bedding. And this weekend is probably like one of the last like really decent weekends to do anything. I actually want to get a bunch of equipment cleaned up this weekend. Not a whole lot that really needs to get washed really well. One good bale for the cows or not. I mean, they finished everything, but I don't think they really need two. If we can stick with our 1-2 scenario, as long as it's good hay, then it should be fine. All right, something I'm going to do just a little bit different tonight. Normally, we will fill up their water tank, but if you remember the way our system works is that we start out in the milk house, and then the water, it's all gravity fed. So it comes here, comes down behind this here, and then it comes right there. It goes up and actually makes a U-turn to come right here, and it drops down here. But we always have to drain out the system when it's cold. So our lowest point in the system is this tank right here. Not a big deal if it's not too cold or you have animals in this pen. So that tank's starting to get a little full. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set this up so that these guys can come back here and grab some water. But what that means is I kind of got to set up some chains and stuff like that so they don't get themselves into trouble. All right, so we just took the green gate, sandwiched that one, and then a little crude, but it's not going anywhere. These chains are honestly more for visual than anything else. If they were getting pushed, I'd be worried that they're going to crawl through there, but if they're just back here playing around, I'm really not too worried about it. Did get a call that our beef is ready. One half is going to a customer, so he will pick up his own half for my cousin, her family. So I think I always have enough room for a quarter in my freezer. These guys are doing really nice. Bethany had mailed off my DNA samples, so hopefully in about 6 weeks we'll get some results. Not really too concerned about anybody in this pen. The only one that I'm really curious about is her. She's the only one I did a homo-poll test on, or a poll test on, because I want to know if she's homo-polled. Mom's homo-polled, Factor's hetero-polled, so I have a 50% chance that she'll be homo-polled. I already know she's hetero-polled, so I didn't even do that with them. And honestly, all of our black heifers, I didn't do any poll test. Our black heifers, I really don't give a rip if they're homo-polled or hetero-polled. The boys, I think I didn't poll test them because I know they're all polled, but I did color coat color. I did do them to see if they're homo black or not. This guy, I already know is hetero-polled because Cher is horned and he is polled. So he only had the diluter test with the basic DNA profile, because all of them got a basic DNA profile that parent verifies. And we can parent verify to Factor because he has a DNA on record, which is good. Also, little Deja, she got diluter tested, and then little Whitey Gergs got diluter tested. All right, we're gonna wrap this day up. It is Friday, it is the end of the week, so it is the end of the video. I hope you guys liked the video. Kind of just a a wrap up of the last couple weeks and kind of just an update for you guys. A little bit of feeding, because honestly, there's going to be a gap from my last video to this one. And these guys are kind of happy they found out that they could go in the back, so that's a new pen for them. That's why they're kind of running back and forth. But I hope you guys liked the video. Please hit that thumbs up button on your way out. Help support the channel. And of course, if you got any questions, by all means, please leave them in the comments. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. That's probably the biggest thing to help support the channel and help us get to our goal of 2,000 subs. We're getting pretty darn close. I think we might be like 60. Yeah, I think we're like 60 away. I think we're at 1940 as of today. So by all means, please hit that subscribe button. It's totally free. I don't ask you guys for a dime. I just ask you guys for your support. So help us out here at Ohrmundt Simmentals. Hit that subscribe button. And as always, thanks for coming along.